This is the final product that we're shooting for. This is a skeletal mesh and another skeletal mesh, and we're trying to sync them together. They're not socketed together at all, and you can see that when I start playing the animation, nothing really happens. But as soon as I touch that trigger, they start to do their thing, which is driven by Kismet. And it's quite a process to get this to work. So the reason to do it is so you can test whether your animations from 3D Max are actually working okay, without having to set up code and so forth. Obviously it's nice if you can set up code, but not everyone's a coder. So this is kind of a process that's friendly for animators. Just back in 3D Max, before we continue on, we already exported the animation, but I wanted to change a few things, and I re-exported it again. What I decided was it would be good if there's keyframes on every frame of the animation, and a nice way to do that is to go to one of the cat bones and go to the layer manager, and you can see here it says collapse layers. Effectively, we had before a base animation, and on top of that we had a relative or adjustment layer. You can create a new layer and go collapse layers, and this will pop up a dialog where you can set the frame samples to one frame for every sample, which gives you one frame on every frame, one key on every frame. And you can go through it. No, we don't really need to do it now, but you end up with a collapsed layer, and your other two layers are still there. So you can, if you want to, turn it off and go back and edit your thing and collapse it again, right? So I've collapsed it down to nothing. So we would select the gun and export it again, and select this and export it again. Let's jump to UDK. We've already done the export. Let's delete out this content and basically make it all from scratch. Let's go to Kismet. This is where we're aiming for with the matinee, which plays through both the animations. This stuff just for now, and we can delete this, and we can delete that. So back in the content browser, you can see that before I've imported the body animation comes along with that, and made an anim tree that includes that animation, so it tells us what to do. Now, we did the same with the weapon. Rather than delete this, just in case things get messy, I'm just going to re-import everything with different names. So let's go to import, and I've renamed the files that I exported the first time in the previous video, just so they don't conflict in here. Start off with soldier body, open it up, and we basically want these settings here. We want to import a skeletal mesh, we want to don't need morph targets, and we want the animations. You can resample the animations, but technically it doesn't really matter too much, because our 3D Max is 30 frames a second. There's a key every frame, and pretty much that's what we'll get now. Well, it calls automatically the mesh as the FBX file, and if you want to, you can group it into skeletal mesh or animation or whatever, but I'm just going to put everything in one group so that it's easy to see here. This is the name of the package, and it's already there. That's good to go, and you get the mesh coming in there. We just have to remember this is soldier body and so forth. Yeah. It comes in also with a anim set, which is fine, you can use that, but I'm going to delete it just to show you how to make your own. You just right click on it and go force delete, and then we'll go import and create the machine gun. And the same settings. So we get machine gun. Bone gun root is the anim set which is coming off of the bone gun root in 3D Max. And if we open this up, you'll notice that the animation is already there, and it's nice, it's doing its thing. It's a bit hard to tell out of context. There it goes. The problem is it's set by default so that anim rotation only is on, and if you don't want that, because if this is only rotating, the gun just spins around that pivot. But if you remember in 3D Max, the gun is actually moving at some time during that animation. We want to actually have this off. The problem is when we turn it off, we have to resample, which is, again, probably not a problem if you just go animation compression settings and recompress it at, I would probably use this one so you can set 30 frames, but it doesn't matter too much because there's one key per frame anyway. So instead of doing it that way, what we'll do is we'll delete this anim set, delete force, and make our own. So for the body, let's go new anim set, call it soldier body anims, and keep the group open so that it all comes in the same package here. Okay, we need to, it starts off with the AK-47, which is just because it's the first one on the list, I guess. We want to find soldier body, and there it goes, it's looking fine. And you'll see that when you jump over to anims, there's nothing here. By the way, you can also set a material for the character, and it gives you also its origin based on 3D Max. This is the origin for the mesh, not for the root. You'll see that in the animation sequences, there's no animations. So we can go File, Import FBX Animation, and go Soldier Body. And this one just flips on in there, and we can play it to check it, and it's just great. So close that down, and now we need to go New Anim Set and create one for the machine gun. So we'll call it Machine Gun Anims, and close. Press OK, and use the machine gun. But this is again the AK-47, and our gun is called Machine Gun. So we have that there. You see a slightly different position in the scene. Again, you get the origin value from its position in 3D Max if you want to check that, but it's probably fine. And you see this time we can turn off the anim set rotation only, and then we go to anims. You see there's nothing there. We go File, Import FBX Animation, Machine Gun, and our animation comes in. If we play it, there it goes, and there's no worries about this here. A lot of the time you want to have rotation only on, but for this particular animation we don't want